Welcome to part 3, everybody. For this bit, we're finally going to be starting to get into the ties. We'll only have one tie for this one, and the other two will come into part 4. But for now, let's move on to number 10. Number 10, Wolfscreen. Okay, I'm going to be very honest here. I really like this series. I just like some of the philosophy of it, and I really liked how the villain was handled. Actually, in my opinion, this is probably one of anime's best villains, was Darsha the Third. And if you've seen the spoilers for the show, oh boy does he get off well, compared to a lot of other villains of anime. But other than that, what I really don't like about the series and what prevents it from being higher is it's kind of depressing. And to be honest, it doesn't always have the best characters. Though I do praise some, I don't praise all. And the music too. Well, but that's neither here nor there. On to the next one. Instead of just saying which one is number 9, I'm going to try and sing the first verse of the opening to this one. Yes, he on, yes, he a go. Yep, that's right. It's Attack on Titan. Now, I am going to be honest, this anime was hyped to all heck. And because of that hype, I decided to see it. I don't regret anything. This has got to be by far one of the best written stories I've seen in a while. And to be honest, I am going to say it right now, it has the best opening I've ever seen in any anime. What prevents it from getting any higher, unfortunately, are the characters. A few of them are kind of problemed here or there. And the animation, which is really kind of don't like it. Nothing against it, I think it's some of the best animation out there, but it's kind of like Gankutsuo. I don't like its unique style. Nothing against the anime though, it's pretty good, and that's why it's in the top 10 to begin with. And that's why it is my number 9. Number 8, 11 Eyes. Okay, as being one of Shadow ACS's favorite anime, why for me is it so low on my top 10? Well, I'm gonna be kind of honest here, and I felt that one of the characters kind of helped hurt the series for me, and the last episode was kind of a one. Other than that, though, I really have got to say, 11 Eyes is a pretty underrated anime, and I wish it was more popular than it actually is, but maybe there's some reason that it isn't. I couldn't tell ya. Oh, I wish it was more popular, but you know what? I think it does pretty well in almost every other regard, except for one or two minor complaints I've already stated. But other than those, I think it's a pretty good anime, definitely worth a watch. Go see it. Number 7.1, Future Diary. Now, this is my first tie when it comes to the shows. And this will be not the last one. But this has got to be one of the most gritty series I've ever seen. It's also one of the first horror anime on my list. And I'm going to be quite frank here, I'm not a big horror fan. And yet, I quite liked Future Diary. And this is also what I consider to be my final guilty pleasure on this list. But why do I like it so much? You know what? Because in my opinion, it just doesn't care who you are. It'll just do whatever the hell it wants. That's kind of why I like it. I also have to admit of liking the characters. At least some of them. So others are assholes. And I can't deny I really like the animation, the music, all that stuff. It's on my top 10 for a reason. On to the next one. Number 7.2, Hula Magi Madoka Magica. Yes, I loved this series. Now, I'll be honest here and say this right up front. The movies, at least the first two, kind of suck, and the third one is pretty okay. Why is this one so much higher if those suck? Because the show is fine without the movies. It did perfectly well. I think it did perfect with the sound department. I think it did perfect with the story. Yeah, the characters at times can be a little on the lackluster side until you really got to learn their stories. And I won't deny some people might be turned off by the animation and the first two episodes. But get past those and you have what I consider to be a truly brilliant series. Up there with Attack on Titan and some of my higher ones on my list. But for now, it only ranks at 7.2, and that's where it's going to stay. Number 6. Shakugan no Shana. All 3 seasons. Now, to be very frank here, this has got to be one of the better anime out there, and it has the best tsundere I've ever seen in the form of Shana. And you know what? Out of these 3 seasons, the third one actually was my favorite. And I think it had the best action and the best character development. And oh yeah, I just love those openings. And the characters, the openings, I really love it all. So much. Now, if I had to point out a problem with this series, it's the second season. The first few episodes of the second season are annoying. And they're a hard one to sit through. In fact, at times, parts of all of Season 2 would be hard to sit through for me. Unless you like the slice of life aspects, which, in this show, I don't. But other than that, I actually found this was a pretty enjoyable series, and well worth the watch.